Hi guys, Miles here. It's 2025 and we are back with another Q&A. Unlike before, this one is specifically about mental health. I put out a post, you guys left your questions, and today I'm going to answer them all. Let's go. Our first question came from Moonflame Studios, and they asked if they could give me a hug, which I gladly accepted. Our next question was from XXRealFaker2343, and they said, "Hello, thank you for opening up. How cold are the wards?" And this really just depends on where you end up. Some wards are actually climate controlled, and some are manually controlled, where you can actually ask for a room to be made warmer or colder. But in most of the wards I've visited, we're talking probably like in the high 60s as far as how cold it is, in that there are places I've literally had to wear 3 or 4 jackets at one time just to stay warm during the night. You also asked, do they let you have your phone or take pictures you draw home? So no, you are not allowed to have your phone in most places. Some residential treatment centers may allow that, but none that I've ever been in, and as far as hospitals, that's one of the first things they take away. The good thing though is that anything you draw while you're on the ward, you can most likely take home. I've even posted videos showcasing some of the art that I've drawn while I've been there. Your next question is, what's something you think everyone should know about schizophrenia? And if I could tell someone one thing about schizophrenic people in general, it is that we're not scary. We may do some really odd things, and we might do some semi-frightening things every now and again, but generally as people, we're just looking to connect with other people and to be understood. I would say that too goes hand in hand with saying that we're not normally violent. And that's a huge misconception that's often upheld by media and whatnot, but that I wouldn't write off anybody with schizophrenia as being strictly violent. Then you also asked if you could give me a hug, and again, absolutely, thank you so much for your questions. Next we have SillyHuman333, and you have a bunch of questions, so I'm gonna go through them all and get you some answers. First, you asked, does the psych ward allow you to bring in board games or D&D? And that is a no. They will not let you bring in very many personal effects at all. There have been some pediatric or adolescent units that would let you bring small effects from home, like certain stuffed animals or toys, so long as they were approved. Most adult wards are not going to let you bring anything like that from home. But they usually do have games on ward like chess, checkers, things like that, so those are usually provided. You also asked, is there a time when being committed to a psych ward wasn't traumatic? And yes, the very first hospital that I ever went to, I actually walked in of my own accord with my parents. Nobody really forced me. I didn't have anyone put hands on me. I allowed them to give me medication and take my blood. And it wasn't until the second time that I was committed that traumatic circumstances began to pile up. You also asked if I have any at least more pleasant experiences, even if they're small. And as far as the hospital is concerned, I do have small memories of really good or pleasant things happening. One namely being playing Just Dance on the Wii with one of the male nurses, and I think I put on a song and a female was dancing, and it was a lot of fun to see him attempt to do her dance moves and get up there and dance with me, so that's one of my pleasant memories. Then you ask how life has been lately, anything forward, just curious, and I'm going to be doing a video specifically on that in the near future that will kind of explain more of how things have been going, so I'm going to probably leave this question for a later date, but I will say that for the time being I am managing. You ask, since I might have CPTSD symptoms regardless of diagnosis, do I find anything that soothes me, helps me cope, helps with grounding, any of that works for me, or any potential triggers us viewers should avoid mentioning? So the first one, I just have to say, hands down, the best coping tool I have for anything CPTSD related is my service dog. He is uniquely trained to sense symptoms of CPTSD, symptoms of anxiety, depression, self-harming behavior, all of that. He is very, very good at being aware of that and then interrupting me and redirecting me, which helps me to ground. I'd love to do a video on that in the future if people are interested, so if you'd like to see something like that, leave me a comment down below. As far as triggers, I don't ever ask anyone to avoid saying or doing anything. In the real world, there are going to be triggers everywhere. You are kind of in charge of dealing with that and then how it affects you. So I don't mind if anybody leaves comments about hospitals or their experiences or even pleasant experiences. I don't mind mentioning things about being restrained or going somewhere in an ambulance. It's good for me to be able to talk about these things, and so I would never say to anybody, like, you can't say this, it'll trigger me. If it does, that just means that it's something that I have to work through, and I take those experiences as they come. You asked, are there any interesting, funny, odd stories or patients in hospitals or recovery places you've been? And yes, this could be a whole video completely in its own. You meet some very, very interesting and unique people when you spend time in a mental hospital or rehab or an inpatient long-term care facility. The people you encounter are endlessly interesting. One quick story is that I met this really cool guy who actually was kind of a small-time rap artist that was putting work out on YouTube. And it was really cool because he would come into the common area and he would like rap songs for people. So it was really neat when he was around because everything was always very interesting. You know, he would come up with these songs about anything and anyone, and it was really amusing. You said, I may be paranoid, but do staff check journals and sketchbooks? And that would be yes. I've had places where they will come in and rifle through my personal belongings at night or while they're doing checks. Someone will be coming to see you various times during the day, so if you are writing or you're drawing, they will see that and might ask you to explain it or to bring it to a therapy session or to show it to the psychiatrist. A lot of times they're not going to come in directly and like grab your journal and start reading everything that's in it, but they do have the ability to take that if they feel like it's not a good outlet or to remove it as punishment. So whether or not they read that in that time, that's kind of up for debate. I've never had someone specifically come in, take my journal, and go read it, you know, as far as staff. And generally, they don't try to offend patients by invading on that privacy when they don't have to, but if they feel like it's dire or they really need to, they will. This next question is about dissociation, and you asked if I experienced dissociation, which I do. You asked, what is it like? For me, it can kind of be gradual sometimes, where I feel distant, I feel fuzzy, I feel disconnected to the world around me. And then sometimes there's what I call blackout dissociation, where something will happen, i.e. I hear a siren, and my brain won't catalog, oh, I hear a siren, that's causing me to be upset. It will just black me out. And a lot of times I won't know why that's happened. I will just find myself, a few hours later and not know how I got there or what I was doing. When I'm in that kind of a state, I don't really have memory of what I do, but when I come out of it, there have been times where, yes, you asked if I feel physical discomfort or pain. So I've come out of it before where I've been sore or where I've caused myself harm and I've had bruises or I feel sick or nauseous, but in the moment, you're not really connected with yourself to be able to experience that firsthand. Then you asked, am I fine with my medications or do I just take them because of necessity? And I am fairly okay with them. I've accepted them even though they can do detriment to me long term. I keep taking them because without them, I know I would not be able to live my everyday life, and I know what that looks like, so it's kind of the lesser of two evils. And then you said, what's my opinion on them and experience on them? And the 3 medications I'm taking now work fairly well. I think they're all okay at what they do. My opinion on them kind of varies to some I wish I wasn't on, some I know I really shouldn't be on, but I have to continue taking, and some that used to work really well that don't work as well anymore and might not work in the future. So that's kind of where my head is on all of that. When I'm taking my medications, I am able to lead a fairly normal life with a few incidences here and there. When I am not on my medications, every day I am experiencing hallucinations and paranoia and disorganization, and I know that that's not livable. So yes, they definitely are a need versus a want, and I know that life is better on them than off them. Then your final question was, how do I keep motivation? And I think that kind of boils down to if you're talking about motivation for my work on YouTube or my art, or motivation for life in general. So for life in general, I am a Christian. I do believe in God and that He has a purpose for me and that there's a reason for my suffering and for the things I've had to go through. And I firmly believe that that's so that I can reach out and help and assist other people. So that for me is what keeps me going in my life. As far as my artwork or my animation, I truly do get joy from sharing my work with other people, being able to tell unique stories and plan things. I'm a very creative person, so it's an outlet for me that I never run out of motivation for. It's just a constant well. Unless I'm really, really doing very poorly and I'm really deeply into depression most of the time, my motivation is relatively high and it keeps me creating content on and on. Our last question is from John Sydney 225, and you said, something I've always been curious about when it comes to schizophrenia, since many people know and have an idea about the delusions and hallucinations. What has been my experience with disorganized thinking, speech, and behavior? And that's the first question, so I'll stop there. For me, when I was younger, I did do what is called word salad, or I did engage in what would be termed a flight of ideas, where I would ramble on about something and use a lot of words that rhymed but that didn't make any sense. Again, that's referred to as word salad. And then have a flight of ideas where I'd want to draw, then I'd want to listen to music, then I'd want to dance, then I'd want to go outside. I experienced those much more as a child than I say I would as an adult. For me, the disorganized thinking kind of comes in terms of when I'm hallucinating and I can't or don't feel like I can stay on one track at the same time. Though I will tell you that rarely happens nowadays unless I'm completely off of my medication, because I keep my mind very engaged. If you visit my house, I will often have the TV playing music, the computer playing music, a video on my phone, and a game in my hands. So I'm always incredibly overstimulated, but that's where I function best. I will become really disorganized if there's nothing going on. There's no music, there's no sound, there's no lights, like it's just complete silence. Then I really start to become disorganized, where I can't think straight or have trouble putting out ideas or thoughts. But as far as my speech, I don't really have those issues anymore. And patterns of behavior really only show up again when I'm off my meds. Otherwise, those are relatively less intensive given what I'm taking. And lastly, you asked, have I experienced any of the cognitive symptoms of schizophrenia? There's like a small working list that goes from social cognition, processing speed, memory, thinking and speech patterns, executive functioning, and working memory, which I could go over all of those or kind of give you an overview. But as far as the cognitive symptoms of schizophrenia, there are quite a few that I don't experience, especially on my medications that I'm on now. My memory is really more affected by the CPTSD and PTSD symptoms than it is schizophrenia. I'm usually relatively logical and I'm good at planning and organizing things. I really thrive on problem solving, and the only time you're really gonna see huge impairment on my thinking, my speech, my processing, my social cognition, all of that really suffers when I'm having what is referred to as like a psychotic break. If I'm in that sort of a space, then those symptoms, kind of as I've mentioned, will be more present and can actually be cataloged by the people around me. I don't always know that they're going on, because when you're in the mind that is experiencing those things, they don't seem wrong to you. They don't seem disorganized to you. A lot of times when I'm in that state, I see them as normal. I'm like, this is just how my mind does things. This is just how it is. This is just what things look like. And it takes other people to actually break me out of that kind of a state, and the right medication to make sure that I'm manageable in that state and recover from that state. All right, that is all of today's questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have extra questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them there. I love you guys and stay awesome. Bye.